Okay mga mi, imagine niyo to. May isang libro na hindi mo kayang basahin. Hindi dahil mahirap siya basahin Hindi dahil iba yung language. Kundi dahil wala talagang nakakaintindi sa book na yan kahit sino, kahit kailan. So hindi to exaggeration mga miha kasi for over 600 years, itong manuscript na to has been studied by historians, linguists, cryptographers, and even government-level experts. And yet, zero confirmed translation. So meaning, walang kahit isang page na na-decode with 100% agreement. So hindi siya Latin, hindi rin siya Greek. Hindi siya kahit anong known language sa mundo. At hindi rin siya simpleng code lang mga mino. Kasi kung code lang siya, dapat may nakakrack na by now. Diba? And take note the same level of experts who broke complex wartime codes during World War II, nag-fail din sila. So ano ba yung book na to? This book is known today as the Voynich Manuscript. And hanggang ngayon, it remains one of the most studied and most frustrating unsolved mysteries in history. Ito, mini reality check. Mga mi, we live in a time where AI can generate faces, 'di ba? Write essays, even compose music, 'di ba? Pero itong isang libro na to, hindi pa rin siya maintindihan. So the real question is, ano ba yung laman nito? At bakit parang ayaw niyang maintindihan natin? Okay, so ito yung tanong mga mi. Saan ba talaga nanggaling itong libro na to? Let's rewind to 1912. Isang Polish-American rare book dealer named Wilfred Voynich ang pumunta sa isang Jesuit college in Italy, yung Villa Mondragon. So ano yung goal niya? Ang goal niya ay maghanap ng rare manuscripts na pwede niyang bilhin. Normal day yun for him. Until hindi na naging normal. Now, habang naghalongkat siya ng old collections, may nakita siyang isang manuscript na kakaiba agad, no? Hindi dahil sa age nung book, kasi marami namang luma dun kundi dahil sa laman nun. May strange drawings, unknown symbols, and writing na hindi niya ma-recognize kahit expert siya sa rare books. So naturally, interesting yun sa kanya, so binili niya. And from that moment, the manuscript carried his name. Pero ito yung unang twist mga mi. Ito yung confirmed facto Hindi si Voynich ang gumawa ng libro. Hindi rin siya yung original owner. In fact, mas matanda pa ang manuscript kaysa sa kanya ng ilang centuries. So how do we know? Through radiocarbon dating. So ano ba yung radiocarbon dating? Isa siyang scientific method used to determine the age of organic materials by measuring carbon-14 decay. Kumbaga, in simple terms, parang scientific timestamp siya ng papel. So ano yung resulta nun? Yung parchment, yung actual pages, date back to around 1404 to 1438. So ibig sabihin, itong book na to was already existing during the early 15th century. Di ba? Bongga. Ito yung panahon na wala pang printing press, wala pang mass production ng books. So yung bawat page nun, mga mi, handwritten siya mano-mano. Now, here's where it gets more interesting. Kasi inside the manuscript, may kasama siyang sulat, no? A letter dated 1665 from a scholar named Johann Marcus Marci, addressed to a Jesuit scholar, Athanasius Kircher. Ba't ang hihirap naman ipapronounce sa mga pangalan nila? And according dun sa letter, the manuscript was believed to have once belonged to Emperor Rudolph II. Ito very important to mga miha. Historical claim to, not fully verified. So allegedly, binili daw ito ni Rudolph II for a large amount of money. Around 600 gold ducats. Which is basically sobrang mahal. As in elite level purchase siya. Pero walang surviving proof ng transaction. So while the letter is real, the claim itself remains unconfirmed. So isummarize natin So ito yung mga confirmed facts. The manuscript was discovered or rediscovered in 1912 by Voynich. Yung material dates back to early 1400s and it passed through historical figures based on documented letters. So ito yung mga uncertain kung sino talaga yung nagsulat nun, kung sino yung original na owner, and most importantly, why it was created in the first place. Kasi mga mi, isipin niyo to ha. Someone somewhere in the 1400s spent an insane amount of time writing this entire book in a language that no one would understand for the next 600 years. So the real question is, sino yung target reader niya? Tsaka bakit parang hindi tayo kasama dun? Okay, so ngayon mga mi, buksan na natin yung libro ha. And warning lang, hindi siya normal. Parang ano siya, parang combination siya ng science book, medical journal, tsaka dream journal ng taong hindi natin kilala. Kasi pag tinignan mo yung manuscript mga mi, hindi siya random pages lang. O ito yung confirmed fact ha. Researchers were able to divide the manuscript into sections based on illustrations and layout. So meaning, structured siya by organization. Hindi siya sabog-sabog na drawing lang ha. And here are the major sections. Una, yung botanical section. Ito yung pinakamalaking part ng manuscript mga mi. So puro siya halaman, detailed drawings, may roots, may leaves, stems. Mukhang scientific siya. Pero ito yung catch. Walang kahit isang plant na 100% na identify as real species, no? May ibang parts na parang familiar, like may kahawig na leaf shape or root structure. Pero pag tiningnan mo siya as a whole, hindi siya match sa kahit anong documented plant sa botany. So yung scientific term daw doon ay tinatawag na botanical identification failure. Meaning inability to match illustrated species with a known taxonomy. So kumbaga parang pinaghalo-halong halaman na hindi nag-exist. So ngayon pa lang medyo off na no. So next naman ay astronomical or zodiac section. So dito makikita mo yung mga circular diagrams. May recognizable symbols siya like zodiac signs, no? Like Pisces, Aries, etc. So ito yung confirmed fact mga mi. These symbols align with medieval European zodiac traditions. So at least dito may connection tayo sa real historical systems. Pero, yung style ng drawings, hindi siya standard. Parang ano siya, parang interpretation siya ng someone na may sariling version ng astronomy. And some diagrams include women inside the circles, which is not typical. Oh, next, biological section tayo. Ito yung medyo uncomfortable. Kasi makikita mo yung multiple drawings of women, mostly naked. Nasa loob sila ng parang tubes or pools or interconnected pipelines, yung parang may fluid na dumadaloy. These illustrations exist and are consistently styled across multiple pages. So ito naman yung interpretation lang to, hindi to confirmed. Some researchers think na this could represent early medical concepts, human anatomy, or reproductive systems. Pero walang consensus mga mi. So hindi siya clearly identifiable as any known medical diagram. So we cannot say for sure kung ano talaga siya. Pero ano ha, let's be honest ha. Kasi kung makikita mo to without context, para siyang medieval spa na medyo unsettling. Okay, next, yung pharmaceutical section. O dito naman may drawings ng containers, jars, roots, plant parts, parang ingredients. Okay, ito yung confirmed fact, no? The layout resembles early pharmacological texts. So, yung pharmacology meaning yung study of medicines and substance used for healing. Kumbaga parang sinaunang reseta or herbal guide. Pero again, mga mino, since unknown nga yung plants, we don't know kung ano yung actual purpose. Medicine ba? Poison? Ritual? So, unclear siya. So, ito yung last, yung text-only section. So, pages and pages siya of pure writing. Walang drawings, just text. And dito na talaga pumasok yung pinaka-mysterious part, yung language. Kasi ano siya, same symbols, same structure, consistent siya. Hindi siya mukhang random. And take note ha mga mi, the text shows patterns like repetition, word spacing, and structure similar to real languages, which means this is not just doodling, no? Someone wrote this with intention. So imagine yung mga mi, may libro ka na may halaman na hindi totoo, may science na hindi maintindihan, may katawan ng tao na hindi standard, tsaka may language na walang translation. And yet, organized siya, consistent, and structured. So the real question now is this knowledge we lost or knowledge that was never meant to be found? Okay mga mi, ito na yung part na talagang magpapaisip sa ating lahat. Kasi kahit gaano ka-weird yung drawings, nothing compares sa text mismo, di ba? The Voynich manuscript is written in a completely unknown script. Hindi siya variation ng Latin, hindi siya coded version ng known language, at hindi rin siya simpleng symbols lang. The manuscript uses around 20 to 30 distinct characters, which is interesting kasi halos same range siya ng alphabets natin today. So technically, mukha siyang legit writing system. May tinatawag mga mina writing system consistency, meaning structured use siya of symbols that behave like an alphabet. O parang kumbaga parang ABC. Pero hindi natin alam kung ano yung A, yung B, at saka C. Pero ito yung mas nakakagulat kasi the text follows statistical patterns found in real human languages. So specifically, may term sila na tinatawag na Zipf's law. Ano siya? Principle siya in linguistics where the most common words appear very frequently while others appear less often. So ang simple explanation na lang ay kumbaga sa atin sa Tagalog madalas natin makita yung ang, nang, sa. Sa English naman yung the, is, and. So ganun din sa Voynich text. May words na paulit-ulit lumalabas which suggests na hindi siya random. No? Now, here's the problem. If it behaves like a real language, bakit walang makabasa? Diba? Kasi usually kapag unknown language, may way to decode it. Like what happened with mga may Egyptian hieroglyphs, no? Using the Rosetta Stone. Pero dito wala. So ito yung confirmed facts. No bilingual reference exists. Walang translation guide at walang kahit isang confirmed word meaning. And over the years, mga mi, ginamitan na siya ng traditional cryptography, linguistic analysis, computer modeling, tsaka artificial intelligence or AI, and still zero consensus. Now, here's where things get even more suspicious kasi ito yung confirmed observation. The text avoids certain patterns common sa European languages. For example, walang extremely long words. May consistent spacing. May repetition pero hindi predictable. May tinatawag sila na entropy analysis, meaning measurement siya of randomness in text. So kumbaga sinusukat kung gaano ka-random or ka-organize ang language. So ano yung resulta ng entropy analysis? The Voynich text shows low randomness, meaning structured siya. Hindi siya gibberish. So ngayon, may dalawang facts tayong hawak. Una, it behaves like a real language. Pangalawa, no one can understand it. And those two things should not normally coexist. Kasi isipin nyo to mga mi, language is meant to communicate, di ba? To transfer meaning. So, if this is a language, pero walang makaintindi, then, either nawala na yung context or hindi tayo yung intended audience. And if that's true, then, sino? So, syempre mga mi, hindi lang ito nakita tapos pinabayaan, no? Kasi the moment na na-realize ng mundo kung gaano siya ka-weird, tinutukan agad siya ng pinakamagagaling na utak. No? And I'm not talking about hobbyists. I'm talking about elite level code breakers. Okay, mid-20th century, after ng World War II, maraming cryptographers, yung mga experts sa pag-decode ng secret messages, mga mi, ang nagkaroon ng interest sa manuscript. Some of them were even involved in breaking complex wartime encryption systems like the Enigma. Multiple professional cryptographers studied the Voynich manuscript over decades, including analysts associated with US intelligence communities like yung National Security Agency or yung NSA. So may tinatawag na cryptanalysis, meaning study siya of breaking codes and ciphers. So ang trabaho nila, basagin yung secret messages. And here's the reality mga mi, wala silang na-produce na confirmed translation. Zero. Not even a paragraph. Not even a sentence na universally accepted. Now, may mga attempts. Several researchers proposed partial decodings. Pero lahat yan either hindi reproducible, hindi consistent across the manuscript, or na-debunk by other experts. Meaning, hindi siya pumasa sa scientific validation, mga mi. So, merong tinatawag na reproducibility, meaning yung ability to get the same results using the same method. Kumbaga, kung tama talaga yung decoding mo, dapat kayang ulitin ng ibang expert. Sa Voynich, mga mi, hindi nangyari. Now, even with modern tools, yung computers, machine learning, pattern recognition, ganun pa rin. So, ito yung confirmed fact. No method has successfully decoded the manuscript in a way accepted by the academic community. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Normally, mga mi, kapag code, may weakness yan. May pattern na eventually mababasag, pero dito, wala talaga, which leads to a very uncomfortable observation. So, ito yung investigative insight based sa expert consensus. Either una, hindi siya traditional cipher, or pangalawa, sobrang advanced niya for its time, or pangatlo, hindi siya code at all. And if decades of professional cryptanalysis, including government-level expertise, failed to decode it, then we're not just dealing with a hard puzzle. We are dealing with something that might not follow the rules we expect. Kasi ito mga miya, reality check. Kung kaya mong basagin ang wartime encryption, pero hindi mo maintindihan ng isang medieval book, ibang level na to. So ngayon, mga mi, after all that effort, after all those experts, one question remains. Are we trying to decode something na hindi talaga designed para ma-decode? Okay mga mi, ito na yung part na parang group chat ng historians, cryptographers at researchers. Kasi lahat sila may theory, pero walang may final answer. So let's break it down clean. So yung theory number 1 ay yung secret code or encrypted message. So ang claim, ito yung claim the manuscript is written in a cipher. Cipher meaning method siya of transforming readable text into coded form. Kumbaga parang naka-encrypt siya na message. So ano daw yung posibleng laman nun? Scientific knowledge, medicine, or alchemy? So ang tanong is, why experts considered this? Kasi structured yung text. May repetition and patterns. Tsaka mukha siyang language na tinago lang. Ang problem, may confirmed limitation. Walang known na cipher system, ancient or modern, that matches the structure of the Voynich text. Kahit yung mga advanced decryption tools, walang consistent output mga mi. So kung cipher daw siya, hindi siya normal na cipher. Okay, theory number 2, lost or extinct language. So ang claim, totoong language daw siya, pero nawala na over time. So ito yung nagsosupport sa theory na to based sa evidence. Una, it follows linguistic patterns. Katulad nung sinabi ko kanina yung sa Zipf's law. Tsaka may grammar-like structure siya. Ang problem sa theory na to, walang historical record ng ganitong language. Tsaka ang pinaka-importante, walang Rosetta Stone equivalent. Mga may tinatawag na bilingual text reference, meaning document siya with the same text in 2 languages used for translation. Kumbaga parang dictionary cheat code siya. And without that, halos impossible i-decode. Okay, theory number 3, elaborate hoax. So ang claim, fake siya. Ginawa para manloko, either for money or attention. So, ang possible suspect dati, syempre, si Wilfrid Voynich. Pero ito yung critical na fact. Yung radiocarbon dating proves the manuscript existed before Voynich was even born. Diba yun yung sabi ko kanina sa umpisa ng story na to? So, hindi siya yung gumawa. Now, could someone in the 1400s fake it? Possible, but here's the issue. Ito yung investigative concern. Kasi mga creating a 200 plus page manuscript with consistent writing system, structured language patterns, and detailed illustrations just for a hoax. Diba? Sa panahon na sobrang labor-intensive gumawa ng libro, mga mi. So, low practical motive siya. Hindi siya imposible, pero highly questionable. Diba? So, theory number 4 ay meaningless but structured text. So, ang claim, ito yung claim, mukha lang siyang language, pero wala talaga siyang meaning. So, may tinatawag na pseudo-text, meaning text that imitates real language but has no actual meaning. Kumbaga parang AI-generated nonsense pero convincing siya. So ano yung nagsusupport sa theory na to? No confirmed translation and possible na ginawa lang for aesthetic or ritual purposes. So ang problem, the text follows non-random statistical patterns, which means hindi siya madaling i-fake manually, especially in the 1400s, no? Kasi para magmukhang legit language, mga mi, kailangan consistent ka across hundreds of pages. Walang corrections, walang breakdown. That level of consistency, hindi siya typical sa meaningless writing. Okay, theory number 5 ay medical or alchemical manual. So, ang claim, isang scientific or medical guide daw siya, mga mi. possibly tungkol sa herbs, katawan ng tao, or alchemy. So, yung term na alchemy ay early form of chemistry focused on transformation of substances like turning base metals into gold. So, ano yung nagsusupport sa theory na to? Yun nga, yung mga plant drawings, human figures, yung pharmaceutical style layouts. Ang problem, walang identifiable na plant. 'Di ba? Walang confirmed anatomical accuracy. Tsaka walang readable instructions. So kahit mukhang manual siya mga mi, hindi natin ma-verify kung tama ba yung content. 'Di ba? Now, last theory number 6, artificial language. So ang claim, the author intentionally created a constructed language. So ano ba yung meaning ng constructed language? Constructed language or conlang, meaning a deliberately invented language like Esperanto, meaning gawa-gawang language from scratch. So ano yung nagsusupport sa theory na to? May consistent symbol siya, structured grammar-like patterns, tsaka unique yung system. Ang problem, walang supporting document. Usually kasi 'di ba mga kapag gumawa ng language may notes, translations or references. Ay dito wala nga 'di ba? So kung con lang siya, nawala na lahat ng context. So mga mi, let's align the facts, no? Every theory explains one part of the manuscript but none explains everything. Either may pattern pero walang meaning, may meaning pero walang reference, at may system pero walang origin. And that's the real problem. Kasi normally, kapag mystery mga mino, unti-unti mo nabubuo yung picture, dito, mas lalong nagiging magulo habang mas pinag-aaralan siya. So ngayon, after all these theories, after centuries of analysis, we are left with one uncomfortable truth. We don't just lack answers. We don't even know what kind of question we're supposed to be asking. Diba? Now, fast forward tayo mga mi, modern era na. Kung dati pen and paper lang ang labanan, ngayon may AI na, diba? May machine learning na, may supercomputers na kayang mag-analyze ng patterns in seconds. So naturally, inalay ulit ang Voynich manuscript sa science. Now, ito yung confirmed fact. High-resolution scans of the manuscript were digitized and made available to researchers worldwide. O meaning, kahit yung nasa Voynich Rare Book and Manuscript Library, yung physical copy, pwede na siyang pag-aralan globally. Wala nang limitation sa access. Now, here's where things get exciting and messy. Kasi over the past decades, no, several researchers claimed breakthroughs. One of the most talked about claims ay yung manuscript might be written in a form of Proto-Romance language. So ano bang meaning ng Proto-Romance? Proto-Romance means hypothetical early form of Romance languages like Spanish, French, Italian. Kumbaga parang ancestor ng mga modern European languages. Now, a researcher suggested na nababasa raw ang manuscript as a mix of abbreviated words and phonetic spelling. Parang shorthand system. But here's the reality check, no? This claim is highly disputed. Bakit? Kasi academic linguists criticized it for lack of peer review, inconsistent translation across pages, and interpretations that don't follow established linguistic rules. Ang meaning ng peer review, evaluation siya by independent experts before a study is accepted. Kumaga, chine-check ng ibang experts kung legit yung findings mo. And most importantly mga mi, no translation has been accepted by the broader academic community. Ito, may isa pang direction, yung AI-based analysis. Now, researchers used machine learning models to compare the Voynich text with known languages. So, ano yung goal? Yung goal ay hanapin kung may closest match. So, some results suggested similarities to Hebrew, other Semitic languages, and even Asian language structures. Pero ito ay statistical similarities lang mga mi, hindi siya actual translations. So ibig sabihin, parang sinasabi lang ng AI na medyo kahawig nito, hindi yung ito na yung meaning. Malaki yung difference nun mga mi. Now here's a deeper issue. AI works best kapag may reference data. Meaning, kailangan may known language na pwede niyang i-compare. Sa Voynich nga wala. Zero yung baseline. So kahit gaano pa ka-advance ang AI, kung wala siyang anchor, mahihirapan siya. And this leads to a very important realization. Hindi ito failure ng intelligence mga mi. Hindi ito dahil kulang ang technology. The problem might be structural. Meaning, we might be applying the wrong framework. We are trying to treat it as a language, a code, a system we already understand. Pero what if O ito what if hindi siya aligned sa kahit anong system na alam natin? Kasi isipin niyo to mga miha, in a world where we can decode ancient scripts, we can map human DNA, we can train AI to mimic human language, may isang manuscript pa rin na hindi magets kahit isang sentence, no? Not even close. So the question now shifts from paano natin siya mababasa to what if mali yung paraan ng pagbasa natin from the very beginning? So mga mi, after all the mystery, analysis, failed decoding attempts, nasaan na ba siya ngayon? No? Hindi siya nawawala mga mi, hindi rin siya tinatago sa secret government vault. Actually, the Voynich manuscript is currently housed at the Binek Rare Book and Manuscript Library. Isa ito sa pinaka-secured and respected rare book libraries in the world. Now, here's what that means in practical terms. Hindi siya basta naka-display like museum artifact na pwedeng hawakan mga miha. The manuscript is kept under controlled environmental conditions. May tinatawag mga mi na climate-controlled preservation, meaning regulation siya of temperature, humidity, and light to prevent deterioration. Kumbaga parang naka-aircon plus protected from light para hindi masira. The question is why? Kasi yung manuscript is made of parchment. O ano yung parchment? Parchment mga mi, writing material siya made from animal skin. No? Hindi siya papel, balat siya ng hayop na ginawang writing surface. And after 600 years, no, delicate na siya. And one wrong exposure, pwedeng mag-deteriorate. But here's the interesting part. Kasi kahit nakasecure siya physically, no, digitized na siya. High-resolution scans are available online through Yale. Meaning, kahit hindi ka pumunta sa library, pwede mo siyang pag-aralan, no? In theory, kahit sino. Researchers, students, curious people like us. And yet, no, despite that level of access, despite global collaboration, despite modern tools, wala pa rin nakaka-decode mga mi. Not one confirmed translation. Not one universally accepted meaning. Kasi ito mga mi, usually kapag mas maraming tao ang tumitingin sa problem, di ba, mas mabilis tong nasosolve, di ba? Crowdsourcing, open data, collaboration. Pero dito, baliktad. Kasi the more people study it, the more it proves na gaano siya ka-unbreakable. So ngayon, nakalagay siya sa isa sa pinaka-secure na library sa mundo. Protected, preserved, accessible, and still silent, unread, unanswered. And mga mino, maybe that's the most unsettling part. Hindi siya nawawala, hindi siya hidden. Nasa harap na natin siya and yet parang may invisible wall pa rin between us and its meaning. So mga mi, after everything, 600 years of existence, decades of expert analysis, modern technology, AI, global access, wala pa rin. No translation, no author, no confirmed purpose. And at this point mga mi, hindi na lang siya simpleng puzzle, no? Kasi normally kapag mystery, habang tumatagal, di ba mas lumilinaw, dito baliktad nga. The more we learn, the less we understand. So, zoom out muna tayo. Ano ba talaga yung hawak natin? Ito yung mga confirmed facts. Structured yung writing system, may patterns consistent with real language, organized ang content into sections, and deliberately created siya in the 1400s. Which means, this is not random, no? Hindi ito aksidente, hindi siya doodle. Someone made this with time, effort, and intention. Now, here's the uncomfortable part. Language exists for a reason, mga mi, diba? To communicate. May tinatawag na linguistic function of language. Meaning, system siya used to convey meaning between individuals. Kumbaga, ginawa yung language para magkaintindihan ng tao. So, if this is a language, pero walang makaintindi, then may dalawang possibility lang. Either na wala na yung context or hindi tayo yung intended audience. Kaya nagsabi ko kanina. And that changes everything. Kasi, ibig sabihin, hindi ang tanong ay bakit hindi natin siya ma-decode. Ang tanong ay para kanino ba talaga siya ginawa. No, kasi isipin niyo to mga mi. Someone in the 1400s sat down and wrote hundreds of pages in a system that would remain unreadable for centuries. Walang translation, walang guide, walang explanation. That's not just effort, that's intention. And intention has always a target. So ngayon, we're not just looking at a mysterious book, no? We're looking at a message na parang may pinipiling reader. And maybe, just maybe, the reason we cannot understand it is not because we are not smart enough, but because we were never meant to. So, where does that leave us, mga mi? In a time where kaya na nating i-translate ang ancient hieroglyphs, kaya na nating i-map ang human genome, at may AI na kaya makipag-usap na parang tao. May isang libro pa rin na hindi natin maintindihan kahit isang buong sentence. Despite centuries of study, there is still no universally accepted translation of the Voynich manuscript. Walang confirmed author, walang confirmed language, at walang confirmed purpose. And mga mi, that says something. Hindi lang tungkol sa manuscript, no? Hindi tungkol sa limits natin as humans. So, merong tinatawag na epistemological limitation, meaning boundary siya of what humans can know or understand. Kumbaga may mga bagay talaga na hanggang doon lang yung kaya nating maintindihan. Kasi mga mi, sanay tayo sa idea na everything can be solved, everything has an answer, and everything can be explained. Pero itong manuscript, parang reminder siya na hindi lahat. And honestly, that's what makes it more disturbing. Kasi hindi siya horror na may jump scare, no? Hindi siya crime na may suspect. It is something quieter, something unresolved. Kasi mga mi, the Voynich manuscript is not just a mystery. Question mark siya na 600 years nang walang sagot. And maybe the most honest conclusion we can say na based on all verified evidence is this: we don't know what it says, we don't know why it exists, and we don't know if we ever will. And in a world obsessed with answers, maybe the real discomfort is this: some things don't need to hide for them to remain unknown. So ngayon mga mi, after everything we've uncovered, isang libro na hindi mabasa, isang language na walang translation, at isang mensahe na parang hindi para sa atin, mapapaisip ka talaga, no? If this manuscript was truly meant to communicate something, why has it survived but its meaning hasn't? No? Is it lost knowledge, a forgotten system, or something more intentional? No? A message that only a specific person or time was meant to understand. No? Kasi minsan yung pinaka-creepy na mystery, hindi yung may sagot, kundi yung baka may sagot, pero hindi para sa atin. As always, drop your thoughts in the comments, and if may iba ka pang story suggestions, whether crime, mystery, o kahit historical scandal, comment nyo or DM nyo lang sa akin. Malay nyo, yan yung next Dark Chika natin. Real stories, twisted endings, Dark Chika. This is Sa Likod ng Kwento with me, Apple Season, and as always, don't forget to like, follow, share, and save, and I hope to see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay curious. Bye!